Greetings, hello, how is everyone doing? This is going to be a episode going over the last Board of Supervisors meeting. Now, I did not go there in person, and let me tell you why. Because I've been limited with where I can sit and how I can film. I like to have two cameras so that I can get the public comment section so you can see people speaking and hear them, because they don't have a second camera. They only have one pointing toward the Board of Supervisors, and all you see is the back of someone's head who's speaking that's a public commenter. So I used to sit in front and have the two cameras going, and then they asked me to sit in back, and I still had the two cameras going, but because I had to go and check on the second camera periodically, now they don't want that. So I'm delegated to the back right corner with a single camera, and I cannot produce anything better than what their own live stream has. So I figured until they get a second camera, which they say they may do come summertime when a new budget comes out, what's the point of my being there? I can't bring you anything new or different than the live stream that's already provided on YouTube. So I'm going to use that live stream and break it up some, because I missed some things that happened there that I feel deserve commentary, because I've gotten a lot of people contacting me about it. Another reason it'd be good for me to continue going there is to try and grab people for interviews before and after. But honestly, sometimes these things go so long, I'm just too tired. My bedtime's 10 o'clock at night, so it's difficult to stay to 10, 11, 12 o'clock with these long meetings. Anyway, so that's one thing. The second thing I want to mention is that I've discovered that when I do lives, and I prefer to do lives, so I do a lot of live feeds, they're deleted after, I think, 90 days or a certain amount of time. So things I've posted on the Facebook page are disappearing. But everything is on YouTube. That's why it's important to subscribe to YouTube, because you can always find old content or know that has all my episodes on it. So there you go. So let's start with the beginning of the Board of Supervisors meeting. I'm probably going to wind up breaking this into 2 episodes because there was a bunch more after the public comment. But the public comment is where I want to stop and have a talk with you. So, all right. So let's have a look and see. I thought I had it set up. My bad.
I'd like to call the meeting of the Halifax County Board of Supervisors to order on Monday, April 6th at 6:30 p.m. The invocation will be by Supervisor Oakes, followed by a Pledge of Allegiance by myself. If y'all will all please rise.
Let us pray. Most gracious Heavenly Father, I do indeed thank you for this day. Thank you for the beautiful day that you have provided. Father, I ask your blessings on Halifax County. May we impart your wisdom on the decisions that we make tonight. May it be beneficial to our county, beneficial to our citizens, and uplifting to your kingdom. I thank you for your gift of your Son, Jesus Christ, who died on the cross for our sins. I ask your continued blessing on us as we do the business of this county. In Christ's name I pray. Amen.
Amen. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The next order of business is attendance roll call, please.
Supervisor Riddle,
Present.
Chair Roller,
Present.
Supervisor Oaks,
Present.
Supervisor Witt,
Present.
Vice Chair Smart,
Present.
Supervisor Thompson,
Present.
Supervisor McDowell,
Here.
Supervisor Claiborne.
Present.
Mr. Chair, we have a quorum.
Thank you. The next order of business is adoption of the agenda. Are there any additions or changes to the agenda?
Yes, I do. I have one. We possibly inadvertently left out a finance committee meeting that was held on March 25th, 2026. I would ask that be added to the agenda.
Second that.
What's the?
He said we left early, March 25th.
Minute?
Finance committee meeting, and we don't have the
Finance,
minutes.
well, that will be in the next board's package. for approval.
There are some things that's going to be discussed tonight that came out of that finance committee. So I feel that we need to have those minutes. We don't have the minutes to it. And there are some things that are going to be discussed in closed session relative to that meeting. And I didn't get them, and I don't know who else didn't get them, but I did not get those meetings, or those minutes.
The meetings aren't, the minutes for that meeting aren't done.
Okay.
Yeah, but if we're going to discuss anything that came out of that meeting, we need to table whatever we were going to discuss until the next meeting. Because we didn't have access to those minutes. Well, I did. How many more people didn't get them? Did anyone
I
else?
didn't get them.
Nobody's got it.
Nobody's got it.
Yeah, so things are going to come out that are relative to that. And I need time to look at those minutes before I can make a decision.
Okay, what items on the agenda are relative to that?
Well, so there's, the addition of the forensic audit support that is, item L2, and then there's also a closed session, item as well.
Okay.
And there are some things in there, if you want me to disclose them, I will, but if not, I just move that, those things be tabled until we, get those minutes.
Okay.
So we can make a sound decision.
So we are saying that we will delete the L2 forensic audit, support or discussion. And
the thing,
also the closed session, which would be, contracts.
no, it's something dealing with,
Yes, there's one item with regards to contracts, and then there's another item with regards to, support.
and it's just another item in there dealing with the forensic audit also. And that's why we need that information before we can make a decision.
That, the item on support was related to the forensic audit, so.
Okay.
Agreed.
Okay.
As long as it's clear
Yeah.
that we removed anything dealing with the forensic audit
Okay.
out of closed session.
And we can address that we can have the minutes out and we can address that at a joint meeting, next meeting.
Okay,
Correct.
that would be fine.
We can add, yes.
So we're gonna delete L2, take that off.
I don't want to delay actions tonight.
If he
Okay,
opens the door, if he opens the door, I'll discuss.
okay, Supervisor. So your motion is to delete item L2 and anything in closed session that was related to a finance committee meeting that occurred on March 25th, correct?
And in forensic audit also.
Okay, yeah, that was L2.
That was
That's
it.
Yeah, okay,
If he wants to open the door to it, I'll be glad to talk about it.
yeah, okay.
And that was March 25th meeting,
Yeah.
correct?
Is there a second to that, motion to amend the agenda?
Chief, I have a second.
Okay, he's already second. Okay, it's been properly motioned and second. Any discussion regarding the motion and second?
I guess, I'm not sure what we're not gonna discuss.
Okay. Anyone else? Okay, we have a motion on the floor, by Supervisor Claiborne, properly seconded by, Supervisor McDowell to, remove item L2, forensic audit, support discussion. And also the subsection A29 contracts in closed session. Mr. Braid, the contracts in closed session, is that the only thing in contracts is related to that?
That was not the,
Oh, that was not, okay. Okay, well, I'll make it that anything in closed session related to,
To the audit,
Yeah.
yes.
To be put on the joint committee
Meeting.
agenda.
And that's what, 2 weeks from now, is
2
that
weeks from
correct?
now.
Okay.
2 weeks from now.
21st.
Yeah. Okay. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, like sign. The amendment to the agenda has been approved. Now we need to adopt the agenda. Is there a motion to adopt the agenda?
there were a couple of other items
Okay.
related to the agenda. So for items 4 and 5, we received a request not only from Mr. Easley, but also from Dominion Power to remove those related to the Red Oak solar facility.
Okay, and that's under new business.
Yes.
Okay, is there a motion to remove those two items from the new business agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, it's been properly motioned by Supervisor Oaks and seconded by Supervisor Witt to remove item 4 and 5 under K, new business. And it was related to the Red Oak Solar. Any discussion?
This will be addressed on the 21st joint meeting.
Whenever they say they're ready to bring it back, it will, but I don't know.
Yeah.
They requested to have it.
This was a request of the request. Okay. Any other discussion? Okay, all in favor of the motion to remove, items 4 and 5 under K, new business, signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, like sign. That motion also carries, so,
And I had one more.
okay.
For item number 6, citizens comment form, this is something that I had initially requested my staff to do some research.
Okay.
Try to find ways of improving the efficiency and effectiveness of our meetings. As a result of having conversation with council, we think that it's best we need to do a little bit more homework on that.
Okay.
Before we bring it forward.
I would say so.
Okay.
Moving number 6.
Is our motion to remove item 6 under new business?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, it's been properly motioned by Supervisor McDowell and seconded by Supervisor Riddle to remove item 6, citizen comment form, from the agenda. Any discussion? Okay, if none, everyone in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, like sign, the motion carries. Okay. Next item is adopt.
One more, I received an email today from, Mr. Braid about a forensic audit discussion. I don't know, who made that motion? I think
I did.
about a discussion, I don't know if it's relative to the support or not.
Right, the
But it
support and
was-
discussion are two different things, because I was gonna make a motion for that to be changed, because I had sent an email today, because forensic audit support and forensic audit discussion is two different things, and it should be before anything discussed about finances, because it's an incomplete audit, period.
Yep. So moved.
Okay.
What's the motion?
Okay. Yeah, what is the motion?
I move that we have a forensic audit discussion.
Okay.
And before the public.
Okay. Okay, and the way I look at it, forensic audit is a pending matter and unfinished business, so that should go on to L. So that would be item L2, forensic audit discussion. It's been properly motioned by Supervisor Riddle and seconded by Supervisor McDowell to add that item. Is there any discussion?
How are we to separate the two in the public session of the meeting?
That's why we have counsel here. Before we begin this public audit discussion, we will need some clarification on what we can present, what we can't present, because normally that needs to go in closed session, but this would have to be just a general discussion of the forensic audit
Sure.
and possible paths forward on it. And we would have to refrain from using any specific names or anything.
Absolutely.
But, okay.
Yeah, it's just a simple discussion on the results that we've already gotten.
Yeah.
And we know it's incomplete.
And we don't know it's incomplete. That's a false statement. So-
No, it's not, because if
It
you
is.
look at it, and anybody looking at it, you see it's
Hold on.
incomplete.
Listen. We are adding an item to the agenda. We will discuss afterwards. Now, and the item is forensic audit discussion. We will discuss completeness when we get to that part of it, so.
Okay.
So why did we make a motion to take off the discussion, and now we're making a motion to put it back on?
No, we're not
No,
putting it
support
back
and
on.
discussion are two different things.
There was something done in the, do you want me to explain it or do you want to move on?
I thought the 25th,
The 25th was a meeting.
yeah, it was.
It was a finance, noted was kind of sketchy, but it was a meeting, a finance committee meeting, that's right. That thing
It
was
was a
discussed.
proper advertised
Yeah.
meeting, so. I mean, what is, there's a motion on the floor in a second to add forensic audit discussion to the agenda. Any other discussion? Okay, everyone in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, like sign.
No,
Oh,
No.
no.
Do a roll call
yeah,
vote.
roll call vote.
Second on that.
Forensic audit discussion,
Supervisor Riddle,
Yes.
Chair Roller,
no.
Supervisor Oaks,
No.
Supervisor Witt,
No.
Vice Chair Smart,
No.
Supervisor Thompson,
No.
Supervisor McDowell,
Yes.
Supervisor Claiborne.
Yes,
Motion fails 5-3.
Okay. Now we need to adopt our agenda unless there are any other additions or changes. Is our motion for adoption of agenda.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
It has been properly motioned by Supervisor Oaks and second by Vice Chair Smart to adopt the agenda as amended. Everyone in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, like sign. Motion carries. Excuse me for a second. The next thing on the agenda is approval of minutes. We had the March 2nd Board of Supervisors regular meeting, pages 8 through 33. The March 10th, 2026 Finance Committee meeting, pages 34 through 37. The March 12th, 2026 Board of Supervisors Budget Work Session, pages 38 through 46. The March 12th, 2026 Board of Supervisors called special meeting, pages 47 through 53. The March 13th, 2026 Board of Supervisors retreat, pages 54 through 73. The March 16th, 2026 Airport Committee meeting, pages 74 through 77. And the March 17th, 2026 Board of Supervisors and Planning Commission joint meeting, pages 78 through 96. Oh, go ahead.
Mr. Chairman, I make the motion, we approve the minutes as presented.
Second.
Okay, it has been properly motioned by Vice Chair Smart and second by Supervisor Witt to approve the minutes as presented. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, like sign. Motion carries. The next item is consent agenda approval. You have the warrants from February 2026 on page 98, and your treasurer's report from January 31st, 2026 on pages 99 and 100, and also the treasurer's report February 28th, 2026, pages 101 through 102. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
Okay, it has been properly motioned by Supervisor Oaks and seconded by Vice Chair Smart to approve the consent agenda. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, like sign. Motion carries. The next item on the agenda is recognitions. We have none. The next item on the agenda is citizens' comments. And I'll go through the citizen comment guidelines. Number one, remove your headgear. Secondly, speak into the microphone and clearly state your name and address. You may address any issue not on agenda for public hearing or where public hearing has been held and no action taken. Questions shall be directed to the chair. No applause or comments from the audience. Shouting, profanity, threats, personal attacks, or similar actions are unacceptable. Language or actions which insult or demean any person or group of persons, or which when directed at a public official or employee is not related to his official duties, is prohibited. The floor is now open for citizens' comments.
Everybody turn their phone off.
Okay, what seems to be happening so far is just trying to get through adopting an agenda, adopting the minutes. There was a question about the minutes. Mr. Claiborne said he hadn't seen them. Mr. Braid, all right, so on the left-hand side there is the county administrator, Ron Braid. I don't have the agenda in my hand, but one item on the agenda was to discuss something about citizen comments. I don't know if they're trying to restructure that, reformat it, make a better way of doing it, because there's been some discussion in the past about people have questions or comments and then they're not addressed or acknowledged. I know that has been a thing. I've been covering this for a few months now, and this is to my recollection. But I do think at one time in the past I was told that public comments came at the end of the meeting. And I think maybe making this more manageable and efficient for a public meeting is maybe what they're talking about. But anyway, they tabled it because he said they need to do more research. So that was part of a change or an amendment to the agenda. Were past minutes, citizen comment section, and then it was some back and forth about discussing the forensic audit. And you clearly see there was a motion made and seconded, but it was shot down. And it's interesting because now we're having 5-3 votes that are the flip side of what they used to be and what people used to talk about, the group of 5 always voting together against the other 3. Now that seems to have flipped. And it looks like Supervisor Riddle, McDowell, and Claiborne are the 3 minority votes in this particular situation. I'm not saying that's all the time. But we've spent a fair few minutes here now just trying to kind of get to the meat of this meeting, and quite frankly, I feel like I'm looking at a ball team that's not playing as a team. And from the feedback I've gotten about this meeting, I think this is going to devolve a little bit further. So let's see what's next. We should be having old business, new business, and then the public comments coming up. Okay, I found it. So let me go to here, screen capture, turn that on, transition. There we go. All right, so, oops, bring this up all the way. Oh, come on. I feel like I haven't done this in a while and I'm like forgotten what I'm doing here. Scoochie. All right, here we go. Let's read this. Transition. There we go. Now we got it. All right. So this is on their website. This is from the agenda/minutes of the last meeting. They start with the standards of conduct, recognizing that persons holding a position of public trust are under constant supervision by the media and interested county residents, and recognizing that maintaining the integrity and dignity of the public office is essential for maintaining high levels of public confidence in our institutions of government. Every member of the Halifax County Board of Supervisors should adhere to the following code standards of conduct. Number 1, avoid during public meetings and during the performance of public duties the use of abusive, threatening, or intimidating language or gestures directed at colleagues, citizens, or personnel. Number 2, pay all taxes due to the county, state, or national government. Number 3, avoid a private lifestyle that casts public doubt upon the integrity and competence of the county government. Number 4, make a conscientious effort to be well prepared for each meeting. Number 5, recognizing the dignity of each individual, the board shall attempt to avoid offering public criticism of colleagues or county employees. Work to create a positive environment in public meeting where citizens will feel comfortable in their roles as observers and participants. Number 7, maintain an attitude of courtesy and consideration toward all colleagues and staff during all decisions, discussions, and deliberations. Number 8, be tolerant. Allow citizens, employees, or colleagues sufficient opportunity to present their views. Number 9, be respectful and attentive. Avoid comments, body language, or distracting activity that conveys a message of disrespect for the presentations from citizens, personnel, or colleagues. Be concise. Number 10, avoid the practice of taking more time to address an issue before the body than is necessary and essential for an adequate consideration of these matters being discussed. Now, here are 10 rules that are for the supervisors to adhere to. Have all 10 of these been followed by all 8 members? 9 members, I should say. We have the tiebreaker. I think there would be some disagreement with that. Now, let's go down to the Board of Supervisors conduct of the public. This is a little more wordier, but let's go through it. The efficient and dignified conduct of public business is the ultimate concern of the board. Accordingly, it is the policy of the board that its meetings be conducted with the highest degree of order and decorum. The board's integrity and dignity will be established and maintained at all times during the conduct of public business, and the board will permit no behavior which is not in keeping with this policy. Prohibited conducts at the meetings shall include. So let's go through these one by one. I need my water. Bear with me. Number 1, campaigning for public office, soliciting of funds, or promoting private business ventures. Now, there has been in the past, since I've been covering this, someone campaigning for public office, and one person was asked not to do that, but I recall others who made announcements of running, which I would think is campaigning, and that has been allowed to happen. I do believe soliciting of funds has happened. People ask for money for various projects. I don't know if they're trying to say privately or for a public entity. And 3, promoting private business adventures. I do think when people go in there and talk about their business, maybe they're applying for a variance or might be some other thing, or, some people complain. I think there's a little bit of gray area on that one too. So number 1, I don't believe that has been strictly adhered to. Maybe I'm wrong. If I am, tell me. Number 2, using profanity, vulgar language, or gestures. I'm not recalling off the top of my head hearing anything that I would consider profane or vulgar, but I know some people have said damn or hell, and some people might consider that profane or vulgar, and I do not recall the board doing or saying anything to halt that. Number 3, language or actions which insult or demean any person or group of persons which, when directed at a public official or employee, is not related to his official duties. Now, this is the one that's going to be up for a lot of discussion. I have heard multiple incidents of public comment that was insulting and demeaning to an individual, to a group of people. And they were not related to duties. And I can go into more detail in that a bit, but what I'm trying to show you here is that so far we're on number 3 out of 13, and I've seen an instance of all of this happening, and nothing has been shut down or addressed in the months I've been watching this. Number 4, disruptive behavior. This needs a definition. What is disruptive to you? Damn it. Sorry. Oops. I was being profane. What is disruptive to you may not be disruptive to me. What bothers me may not bother you, and vice versa. So, number 4 is a good point, but it needs a definition. What are you considering disruptive behavior? Number 5, making non-germane or frivolous statements. Now, some people might want to know, what does non-germane mean? Okay, I'm going to show you. Non-germane, meaning, this is what you got to learn to do. Look things up if you're not sure. What it means is, why is my screen not showing fully here? Sorry, I've done something here. But anyway, it means it's not relevant or it's unrelated to the subject being discussed. Now, that's a difficult one because citizen comments are an open forum. They're not being directed to address a specific topic. It should be county related, sure, or something related to, the business of the county or what's happening in the Board of Supervisors. But I have seen quite often a lot of non-germane material being discussed. But again, because there's not a great operational definition, or there's not a, what's the word I'm looking for? There's not a containment put on what people can speak about. If someone told me, Lisa, you're welcome to come speak at the board on this issue that you're concerned about, other than being a free-for-all. So, again, that number 5 needs to be cleaned up and more operationally defined. Discussions of a sectarian or partisan nature. I'm not quite sure what they mean about that. When we say partisan, it usually means a political party. So maybe they're saying that you should not have a discussion based on your political paradigm. Sectarian, I'm going to guess, means a religious thing. I'm not recalling those types of discussions happening in the public comment in the board meeting, so I can't comment to that. Number 7, smoking or eating in the boardroom. Okay, fair enough. Addressing, that's a very plain physical You don't need an explanation for. These other ones are rather nebulous. You need an explanation for. Okay, the next one, number 8, addressing, why can't I highlight? Addressing questions or statements to anyone other than the chairman. Questions shall be presented to the chairman, who will, at their discretion, solicit a response from the appropriate board or staff member. All right. This rule I've seen broken at every single. Why can't I highlight this? I'm glad you can't see my frustrated face. There we go. All right. This rule I have seen broken at almost every single board meeting. Okay? Quite often I've seen the public come up and say, Mr. X, Mr. Green, Mr. Y, Mr. Blue, this, and this. This happens all the time. The chairman is not being addressed with questions about board members. Number 9, standing in the back or sides of the boardroom as long as there are sufficient seats available except for law enforcement. I'm not sure if I've seen that or not, but I have seen people have to stand up. But I can't remember observing if there was empty seats or not. All right, number 10, persons in attendance at the meeting addressing the board while members of the board are considering a motion, resolution, or ordinance preliminary to a vote on the same, except at the discretion of the chairman. Okay, in other words, I think that just means don't speak until they say we're now open to the public. 11, any person addressing comments or questions to someone other than the chairman. Okay, that's exactly what number 8 just said. Okay? And by the way, you guys really need some grammatical checks here. Not trying to criticize, but you start out saying how you want to be a dignified and professional, and it needs cleaning up. This whole thing needs cleaning up. Number 12, wearing hats, caps, or any kind of headgear. Okay, I think that's just kind of a cultural sign of respect. I don't know. Applause is permitted only during presentations, awards, proclamations, or special recognition. Again, that's a little bit redundant because I think you said up here that there's not to be any noise or sounds. No, that was in some minutes I read. Anyway, moving on. The Board of Supervisors welcomes and encourages citizens to participate in the meetings. To ensure fair and timely participation, all presenters are asked to state their name, and I'm going to assume that should be first and last name because when I read the minutes, sometimes it says the first name, and then it will say they didn't say their last name. So that needs to be clear. State your first and last name. Number 2, each speaker on a general matter, whether an individual or representative of an organization, is limited to 3 minutes. That's been clear. They have a timer, and people follow it. Number 2, thumbs up. Yes, that's a good rule written that's followed. Number 3, speaker's comments are limited to a presentation of his or her point of view only. Questions of clarification may be entertained only by the board members. I don't quite understand that. Number 3. Okay, I don't, that's not clear to me. I understand you're saying present your opinion, but what do you mean by questions of clarification presented to be entertained only by board members? Number 4. All right, bloody hell. Can you tell I've not read this before? If I did, I skimmed it. All comments are to be directed to the board. You just got through saying, speak to the chairman. Number what? Number 3, number something else. Speak to the chairman. This is so redundant. And what do you mean? Where else are they going to direct their comments to? To the audience? I've never seen that happen before, even though I sure thought about it. Debate between a recognized speaker and audience members or between board members and the speaker is not permitted. So in other words, there should not be any exchange of communication. That's pretty clear, but it could be clearer. Courtesy between the speaker and audience is expected at all times. I've seen that broken multiple times. People are very discourteous. Rude. I could think of a lot of other words with that. Number 7, speakers are requested to leave any written statement or comments with the clerk to the board. So in other words, if you have a speech and you want to read from it, or you have notes you want to read from it, please leave it with the clerk. Number 8, we're up to number 8. Individuals speaking on behalf of an organized group are required to file with the clerk written authorization from the group for the individual to speak to represent that group. So in other words, let me give an example. Patrina Carter, Tri-County. She goes up and speaks for Tri-County. I'm going to guess that she filed with the clerk a written authorization that she can speak for that group. I don't know if that's a fact, but I'm going to make an educated guess that that's what happens. And there's a rule for it. So if you're speaking on a group, now you know you need to file with the clerk written authorization from the group allowing you to speak for the group. That's a good rule. By applying to speak as a representative for an organization, the individual confirms that they're recognized as an official representation. Dude, that goes hand in hand with 8. Can't you condense that? You guys really need to rewrite these rules. Number 10. Presentation to the board by groups should obtain prior approval. Submit all written material no later than 10 days prior. Limit presentations to 15 minutes. And file with the clerk written authorization from the group allowing the individual to represent that group. My God, you just said that. Number 11. A digital color-coded timer will be displayed in full view for everyone to see. Okay, so you know when your time's up. All right, that's fine. And look at all the sentences devoted to there will be a timer clearly presented to everyone in attendance. That's all you had to say. But you got sentence after sentence. Oh, my goodness gracious. I'm getting a little frustrated reading this. The chairman shall preserve order and decorum at all times. The chairman may order the expulsion of any person for violation of these rules, disruptive behavior, or any words or action would incite violence or disorder, subject to appeal to the board. Any person so expelled shall not be readmitted for the remainder of the meeting for which he was expelled. Any person who has been so expelled and who at a later meeting again engages in word or actions justifying the expulsion may be banned from attendance at future meetings of the board for a specified, unreasonable period of time not to exceed 6 months or upon a still subsequent expulsion, a period not to exceed 1 year either by the chairman, subject to appeal by the board, or by a motion passed by the board. Okay, so let's transition here. Excuse me, I've got the hiccups reading all that. Oh, gosh, hiccups. So you see, I've shown you, there's a lot of rules. The rules aren't being followed. The rules are not written very well. They're redundant. They're confusing. So, might I humbly suggest to the board to have someone rewrite this for you and be more clear? Because I've seen these rules broken in the past. I've seen behavior that would have required expulsion, and nothing's being done. So what I'm building up to during this citizen's comment is apparently one or two people were shut down from talking. We got to watch it to see the reasons, what exactly happened. And I've got the feeling that people got fed up and just said, oh, get them out of there, when it wasn't the appropriate time. Should have been done in the past when things were being thrown. Okay? So this is what I'm building up to. Now, we all see the rules. Some understandable, some not. Needs to be fixed. Let's move on and now watch this citizen comment section.
I'm working on it for him.
Okay.
I think you're gonna have to repeat that, Larry. I don't think they heard you.
The floor is now open for citizens' comments. Anyone that wishes to address the board, please come forward.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman. name is James Gordon. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
I live on River Road in District 6. I'm here tonight to make a statement to you, Chairman of the Board, with regards to some of the activities going on in the county. As you're well aware, in the run-up to the election of 2025, I had the misfortune of engaging with your current Vice Chairman, Mr. Robbie Smart, on numerous occasions. On those occasions, we met to discuss county administration and how we each felt the county was being run by the then Board of Supervisors. While these meetings were at first very convivial, they soon digressed into acrimony. As soon as it became clear that I was not willing to go along with his agenda and that I would stand up to fight for all of our residents, even the ones he personally looked down on.
Mr. Gordon, that is not related.
It is related.
It is.
So you have not even heard what I have to say.
That's personal.
So you have not heard what I have to say. You're chilling of free speech is offensive.
We are not killing free speech.
Well,
we are not. Your comments.
I'll hand a statement to the newspaper and they can print it for you.
Yeah.
Let me deal with a specific issue here. When that individual over there says that minorities should not be involved in making decisions in this county, he is stepping across the line. And you protecting him.
You are a lot of that's
a bold
That's his First Amendment right.
No.
It is.
No, wait a minute. Let me get straight.
Mr. Chairman.
It's an allegation.
Listen, we have citizens' comments here for y'all to bring issues to the board for us to
This
help
is an
you.
issue for you.
It is not for citizens to come here and attack.
It is
Other
an
people.
issue for you to address. You have removed people from committees based on the actions of that man.
Yeah.
And it is offensive. It's offensive to other people in the county. And then, with all the talk of transparency
Mr.
that
Gordon.
every single one of you did,
Yeah.
where is the transparency now? Now you want to have people fill in forms in order to come up and make a public comment. Shame on you. Shame on all of you. And for all of you that sit there in the background and stay quiet about this, you take it on equally on your shoulders. You disgust me.
Okay, so this is the first one. I didn't know it would be the first one. I thought this would be the second one. But this is Mr. James Gordon, who ran for the Board of Supervisors against Monty Thompson, who won. It was actually a three-way race. He... God, I can't remember what district it is. Sorry, I think it's 6. But anyway, he ran for Board of Supervisors. He did not win, so he's come to this meeting to speak. And he had a prepared statement, according to the rules. Was that given to the board? Probably not, but that's kind of not the point I'm trying to make here. I thought he was kicked out. He wasn't kicked out. He walked out. But he was interrupted quickly. And it was difficult because of the poor camera angles and audio in these meetings, which is what I was trying to counteract with my filming, even though it's not very good. You would have heard more. So I've got the statement, the full statement here that I'm going to show you and read, and I want to see about at what point he was interrupted and accused of it being personal. So let me go back to the camera here, or whatever, and transition over. All right, so here's the statement that he was trying to read to the board. And he has attention Chairman Larry Roller, which is, according to the rules, that's how you address it. So that was correct. For the attention of Chairman Larry Roller, in the run-up to the election of 2025, I had the misfortune of engaging with your current Vice Chairman, Mr. Robbie Smart. We met on a few occasions to discuss, I should be highlighting this. We met on a few occasions to discuss county administration and how we each felt the county was being run by the 2025 Board of Supervisors. While these this highlighting is annoying me. While these meetings were at first convivial, they soon digressed into acrimony. Now, my first thought is I wonder why. Why did that happen? As soon as, okay, well, he mentions that here. What is going on? Anyway, as soon as it became clear that I was not willing to go along with his agenda, I'd like to ask you what was that agenda and what weren't you going along with? and that I would stand up and fight for all of our residents, even the ones he personally looked down upon, I became persona non grata in his eyes, and he did everything he could to oppose me. It became clear to me that Mr. Robbie Smart was willing to do just about anything to further his personal agenda and would not hesitate to step on anyone along the way. I learned enough through these encounters with Mr. Robbie Smart that Mr. Robbie Smart felt that the chairman of the board, Mr. Robert Claiborne, had made a number of personnel changes in the county administration that he was very upset with, and that he saw the 2025 election as an opportunity to bring in his own supporters who would then help him to remove those people he didn't align with. I think that's about where he was interrupted, but honestly, it's very difficult to clearly hear what's happening on this live feed. At least it is for me. Let me know what you think. Water. So I'm going to finish reading this. Now, this is where he was saying this is personal, having to do with county business. I'm not really necessarily seeing that. I think he's leading up to a point, because if I had to summarize this, what I would say is that he's coming to the board and he wants to tell you, this is my experience with this Board of Supervisor member. But I have to finish the rest to complete that thought. To further his goal, Mr. Smart openly campaigned against me and went so far as to spread the rumor that I was hand-selected as a candidate by Mr. Bryant Claiborne, accused me of being nothing but a mercenary, a thug, and a racist. I don't recall hearing that. I did hear the mercenary bit, but I don't think I heard the thug or racist. This cognitive dissonance flies in the face of the fact that I was first approached to run by him and his supporters. Mr. Smart also claimed that I was a bad person, as I have a track record of fighting against corruption. Because I stood up to fight against an effort to defraud the U.S. government. Now, let me insert here real quick. I remember this from the election. It was a whistleblower's multi-million-dollar reward he got for reporting. I can't get into the details now. I'd have to go back over my notes. But it was a whistleblower's thing. So what Mr. Gordon is saying is that he has a track record of fighting against corruption, because in this whistleblower case, he stood up to fight against an effort to defraud the U.S. government. And it had something to do, honestly, I think, with funds being used for, let's say, extracurricular activities. I can't remember. Given Mr. Smart's, let's get back to here. Given Mr. Smart's personal connections with a family member who's been convicted of just these sorts of actions, I find that to be rather telling. He likes to put on an air of Christianity, yet he would do well to remember in Isaiah said, "Woe to those who call evil good and good evil, who put darkness before light and light before darkness, who put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter." All right, I'm halfway through this, and this is a huge prelude to get to a point. Now, when he walked off, he made a comment that was a point, but I'm not sure if it's in this letter. So let's continue, because this is starting to sound a little personal about an election. I'm looking for current county business and what point he's getting to. Mr. Smart was vocal in expressing his view that minorities should not be making all the decisions in this county, or words to that effect. Again, that's not something I recall. That must have been between the two of them. This sentiment was a common thread with him and was expressed more than once. To who? Was that to you? I don't remember reading that anywhere. It certainly wasn't expressed to me in any of the interviews I had with him. It is my belief that his actions post-election have borne testimony to his deep-seated to his deep-seated prejudice and misguided views that do not belong in civil society. That's a really extreme statement I'm not following. Here we go. One need to look no further than the recent removal of Ms. Cowan from the Halifax County Planning Commission to see how low he will stoop. Okay, now we're getting to the meat of something. If this was me and I felt that he was making decisions based on prejudicial paradigms, that's what I would have started with. I wouldn't have gone into my history of battling him an election, because now I understand why they're saying it was personal. All right, so this was brought up in a meeting I was at because Miss Cowan addressed the board about that. I would have to go back and review that to see exactly what was said. I do remember Mr. Smart saying something about it was a collective decision, not his, but I don't know. That's something I'd love to interview Miss Cowan about. When Miss Cowan, okay, here we go. When she confronted Mr. Smart in the public comments, I'm down here, I keep forgetting to highlight because of that annoying pop-up right there. When Miss Cowan confronted Mr. Smart in the public comments on the Board of Supervisors meeting, he offered a rebuttal. Was that the rebuttal that he offered was that he couldn't possibly be racially motivated in his actions, as he was a veteran and had a 3 combat deployment under his belt. I remember him saying that. I do remember him saying that. And what does that have to do with the price of tea in China? He's probably going to say the same thing. This is a ludicrous statement, as a veteran status in any way does not reflect one's character, and using it as a shield for your own wrongdoing is disrespectful to all the other veterans. All right, I understand what you're saying here. I would like to think being a veteran is a reflection of character, but I think what you're trying to say is that being a veteran does not make you abstain from being prejudicial or racist or a bigot, which is very true. I've met many veterans who are extremely racist. And I do remember Mr. Smart saying that in the meeting. I can't remember if that's exactly was his excuse for saying he's not racially motivated in removing her, but I do remember it being brought up. Again, this gets so convoluted, and it's difficult to remember and keep tabs on everything that's said and done. You'd have to go back. All right, let's move on. Mr. Smart also chooses to hide behind his public display of his religious beliefs to shield his actions. And I'm not following that either. This is equally concerning to me, and having seen many places in this world where people do bad things and hide behind a veil of religious piety, it never ends well for anyone. I would call on Mr. Smart to do the honorable thing and resign. This is what Ms. Cowan asked for, too. From the Board of Supervisors, however, I know it would fall on deaf ears. I do not believe his ego would never allow him to admit fault or step aside for the good of the community. I'm therefore calling on you as the chairman to censor Mr. Smart for his racially motivated activities and have him removed from the board. VR, very respectfully. I don't know what VR means. James Gordon, March 9th. Okay, we got some stuff to unpack here. Let me go back to here. Video capture. Oh, that's right. I have to make that not there, and then I have to hit transition. Bing. There, I'm back. Okay. Goodness gracious. All right, so that was his full statement he wanted to read to the board, but he was cut off about, I'd say, 10 sentences down for saying it was personal. I understand why Mr. Roller said it was personal, and that is in the rules. I just think he's got some good points that should have been stated another way. Was his First Amendment right being suppressed? That's one to ponder. He wasn't being disruptive. He wasn't being, abusive or, but I do think he was being a bit personal. I guess what I'm trying to say, and I would address this directly to you, Mr. Gord, I would not have prefaced all the election stuff. I would have gone straight into, Mr. Chairman, I'm here to ask you to censure Mr. Smart because I feel his removal of Ms. Cowan from the Board of Planning Commission was racially motivated as evidenced by his statements, That simple, that concise. I understand it's an emotional issue, and I respect what you wrote, but I think you would have been more successful approaching it a little bit differently. Their rules are so... I've already talked about this. They're just so unclear, redundant. Some things don't even have an operational definition. That I think they were telling you it wasn't the time or place and you walked out. I don't think they didn't remove you, which is what I thought had happened from what I'd heard, but that wasn't the case. So I have to respect there's a rule and decorum to a meeting, and if that is enforced, I get it. I don't think your First Amendment was necessarily suppressed, but I do think you had some valid points that could have presented in a better way. Okay? And I'm going to leave that at that because I want to get to the person who was evicted to see what happened. I've really talked a lot here, and does anybody really care? But I may have to split this at this point, but let's move on in the meeting.